Negative thoughts. They creep in like shadows, whispering doubts, feeding fears, making you question your worth. They tell you you're not good enough, that life is unfair, that you're stuck in a cycle you can't break. And the more you listen, the more they take. But what if I told you that your mind is the only thing standing between you and peace? That no outside force, no failure, no rejection, no hardship can truly break you unless you let it? This is the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, the last great emperor of Rome. A warrior, a philosopher, a man who faced war, loss, betrayal, yet remained unshaken. Why? Because he mastered the art of controlling the mind, of stopping negativity before it could take root. And today we uncover 10 powerful Stoic principles to silence the negativity and take back your power. Lesson 1. You are not your thoughts. You ever notice how thoughts just come out of nowhere, like ghosts whispering in your mind? Some are harmless, some are inspiring, but some are brutal. They tell you you're not good enough. They replay past failures like a highlight reel. They make you doubt yourself, your worth, your potential. And because these thoughts are inside our heads, we believe them. We think they are us, but they're not. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. But here's the catch, you get to decide that quality. Your thoughts do not control you. They're just stories your mind tells, and some of those stories are absolute fiction. Imagine you're sitting by a river. Leaves float past on the water's surface. Some are beautiful, some are rotten, some are just plain strange. But no matter what kind of leaf drifts by, you don't have to grab it. You don't have to hold on to it. Your thoughts are those leaves, just passing through. And you're the observer, not the river itself. Think about it. If every thought you've ever had was really who you are, then who is the you that notices them? Who is the you that questions them? The fact that you can observe your thoughts means you are not them. But that's where we get stuck. We mistake mental chatter for truth. We let one negative thought spiral into a whole day of self-doubt. We let a bad memory define our present moment. And just like that, we become prisoners to a mind that was never meant to be our master. So what do? We step back, we watch, we question. The next time your mind says, "I'm not good enough," ask yourself, who says? Where's the proof? If it's just a thought, why give it power? You wouldn't believe a stranger shouting nonsense on the street, so why believe the nonsense in your head? And then shift your focus. Look around. Feel the air on your skin. Listen to the world beyond your thoughts. The more you return to the present, the weaker those old voices become, the less they control you. Marcus Aurelius faced war, betrayal, loss. Yet he remained unshaken, not because he was immune to thoughts, but because he knew they weren't him. He knew that beyond the noise of the mind, there is something deeper, something real. And that something? That's you, the observer. The one who chooses which thoughts to believe and which to let go. So the next time your mind tells you a story that fills you with doubt, fear, or regret, pause. Remember, you are not your thoughts. And the moment you realize that, they lose their power over you. Lesson 2. Control what you can, ignore the rest. Life is unpredictable. You can plan everything down to the smallest detail, but one twist of fate can flip your world upside down. And when that happens, most people panic. They fight, they resist, they break under the weight of what they cannot change. But here's a truth that will set you free. You don't have to control everything. In fact, you never could. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, understood this better than anyone. He ruled an empire filled with war, disease, betrayal, and yet his mind remained steady. How? Because he lived by a simple rule. Focus only on what you can control. Let go of everything else. Imagine standing in the middle of a raging storm. The wind howls, the rain pours, the sky cracks open with thunder. You can scream at the sky, you can curse the storm, or you can find shelter, because no matter how hard you try, you can't stop the rain, but you can decide how you respond. Think about your own life. How much time have you wasted worrying about things you can't control? What other people think of you, whether someone likes you or not, what might happen tomorrow, next week, next year. You obsess over the uncontrollable, and in the process, you ignore the one thing that's always been in your hands, yourself. So what if, starting today, you made a different choice? What if you focused your energy on the things that are within your control, your actions, your mindset, your effort, your attitude? Because the truth is, these are the only things that have ever mattered. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And that's the key. Your strength, your peace, your freedom, it doesn't come from bending the world to your will. It comes from mastering your own mind. Let's make this real. Say you lose a job, a relationship falls apart, or someone disrespects you. You have two choices. You can drown in frustration, replaying every what if over and over, or you can take control of the only thing that's ever truly been yours, your response. You learn, you adapt, you move forward, you focus on what's next, not what's lost. And when you do that, something incredible happens. The noise fades, the anxiety lifts. You stop being a prisoner to things beyond your control. You stop wasting energy on storms you can't stop. And in the process, you reclaim your power. So take a breath. Let go of what you can't change. Pour your energy into what you can. Because the moment you stop trying to control everything is the moment you finally take control of yourself. Lesson 3. Rewrite the story in your mind. Every day, you tell yourself a story. You wake up, look in the mirror, and without even realizing it, you start narrating. I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed. I always mess things up. And over time, those words become your reality. Not because they're true, but because you believe them. But here's the thing. You are the author of your own story. And if you don't like the narrative, you have the power to change it. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." He understood something most people never realize. The way you see the world is just a reflection of the story you tell yourself. If you want to change your life, you must first change that story. Think about it. If you tell yourself you're a failure, you'll act like one. If you tell yourself you're unlovable, you'll push people away. But what if you rewrote the script? What if instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," you said, "I am growing, I am learning, and I am becoming stronger every day"? What if instead of saying, "I always mess things up," you said, "Every mistake is a lesson that makes me wiser"? Imagine how different your life would feel if you changed the way you spoke to yourself. The mind believes what you feed it, and for years you've been feeding it negativity, fear, doubt. But you don't have to anymore. You can take control of your narrative. You can choose to rewrite the script, not from a place of self-deception, but from a place of truth. A truth that acknowledges your strength, your resilience, your worth. Let's make this real. The next time a negative thought creeps in, catch it. Don't just accept it, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought serving me? Is this thought true? Or is this just an old, broken record playing in my mind? And if it's not serving you, rewrite it. Replace it with something empowering, something that fuels you instead of draining you. because here's what most people don't realize. The thoughts you choose today shape the person you become tomorrow. Marcus Aurelius knew this. The great Stoics lived by it. And now it's your turn. Your story isn't written in stone. It's written in your mind. So pick up the pen and write something better. Lesson 4. Embrace discomfort instead of running from it. Most people spend their lives avoiding discomfort. The moment they feel fear, pain, or uncertainty, they pull away, distract themselves, or run. But what if I told you that the thing you're running from is the very thing that could make you stronger? Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He faced war, betrayal, and hardship. Yet instead of wishing for an easier life, he leaned into the struggle. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the obstacle isn't just something to get past. It's the very thing that shapes you. Think about it. Every time you run from discomfort, you're reinforcing weakness. You're teaching yourself that hardship is to be feared instead of conquered. But every time you stand your ground, every time you face the storm instead of hiding from it, you build resilience. You become someone who doesn't break under pressure, but rises because of it. Look at the people you admire, the strongest, most successful, most unshakable individuals. Do you think they got that way by avoiding pain? Number. They embraced it. They saw challenges as opportunities, not punishments. And that mindset changed everything. So how do you do this? How do you stop running and start embracing discomfort? First, recognize that pain is not your enemy. Growth hurts. Change is uncomfortable. But suffering isn't a signal to stop. It's a sign that you're evolving. Next time you feel discomfort, pause. Breathe. Instead of pulling away, lean in. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How can this make me stronger? Second, seek out challenges instead of avoiding them. Take the cold shower. Have the difficult conversation. Push yourself beyond what feels comfortable. Because the more you voluntarily step into discomfort, the less power it has over you. What once felt impossible starts to feel normal. And soon, you become the kind of person who thrives in situations that make others crumble. And finally, shift your perspective. Discomfort is not a punishment. It's a gift, a forge that shapes you into something greater. The hardships, the struggles, the moments that test you, these are the moments that define you. Embrace them. Because once you stop fearing discomfort, you become unstoppable. Marcus Aurelius didn't just survive difficulty, he used it. The Stoics didn't just endure hardship, they welcomed it as a path to greatness. And now, it's your turn. The next time you feel discomfort rising, don't run, don't hide. Stand tall, look it in the eye and say, I am ready. Lesson 5. Let go of what people think. How much of your life has been shaped by the fear of what others think? How many dreams have you buried because you were afraid of judgment? How many times have you silenced yourself, held back, played small, just to fit into a mold someone else created? But here's the truth. Other people's opinions are not your responsibility. They are not your burden to carry, and they should never have the power to dictate your life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own." Think about that. You are the one who has to live with your choices, your regrets, your unlived potential. Yet, you let strangers, acquaintances, even family members control what you do. People who won't walk in your shoes, who won't feel your regrets when time runs out. It's time to let go, to reclaim your life. Because at the end of the day, you can't control what people think. You can't make everyone happy. No matter what you do, someone will always have an opinion. Some will praise you, Some will judge you. Some won't care at all, but none of it changes who you are. So what if you made a choice today? What if, instead of obsessing over approval, you focused on what you want? What makes you come alive? What feels right for you? Because the moment you stop living for others is the moment you start truly living. This doesn't mean you ignore advice or stop valuing connection. It means you stop letting fear of judgment dictate your decisions. It means you understand that opinions are just that. Opinions, not facts, not truth, just noise. So the next time you hesitate because you're afraid of what someone might say, stop, breathe, ask yourself, if I had no fear, what would I do? And then do that. Because the people who truly matter will respect you for being real, and the ones who judge, they were never worth your energy to begin with. Live for yourself, not for their approval. Let go and be free. Lesson 6. Accept that life is temporary. Everything you love, everything you fear, everything you are, it's all temporary. The people you know, the places you go, even the thoughts in your mind, none of it lasts forever. And while that truth might seem unsettling at first, it is actually the key to true freedom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up, to remind you that every second that slips by is a second you will never get back. And if you truly understood that, if you really let that sink in, you wouldn't waste another moment on fear, regret, or hesitation. We cling to the illusion of permanence because it makes us feel safe. We tell ourselves there will always be more time to love, to fix things, to chase dreams. But the reality, time waits for no one. And the more you resist this truth, the more you suffer. You waste precious days worrying about things that won't matter in the end. You hold grudges as if you have forever to forgive. You put off happiness, thinking you'll get to it someday. But what if someday never comes? So what do you do with this truth? You live fully, fearlessly. You stop waiting for the right time and make now the right time. You tell people you love them. You take the risk. You let go of meaningless stress. Because in the grand scheme of things, the only thing that truly matters is how you use the time you have. Accepting life's impermanence doesn't mean giving up. It means waking up. It means understanding that every moment is a gift, and it's up to you to make it count. The Stoics knew this. They didn't fear death. They used its inevitability as fuel to live more deeply, more intentionally. And now, so can you. So the next time you find yourself stuck in worry or hesitation, remember this. You are alive right now. That is all that matters. Use it before it's gone. Lesson 7. Turn every setback into an advantage. Life will knock you down. That's a guarantee. Plans will fail. People will disappoint you. You will lose, struggle, and face moments so difficult that you wonder if you can keep going. But here's the truth. Setbacks are not the end of your story. They are the beginning of something greater. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Think about that. The very thing you see as an obstacle is actually your path forward. The setback is not blocking you, it's building you. Most people see failure as a sign to stop. You have to see it as a signal to adapt. Every challenge you face has within it the seed of an opportunity. Maybe losing that job forces you to chase the career you actually love. Maybe that heartbreak makes you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Maybe that failure teaches you a lesson that success never could. Everything, and I mean everything, can be turned to your advantage if you choose to see it that way. This is what separates those who rise from those who stay down. It's not luck, it's not talent, it's mindset. The willingness to look at your worst moments and say, this is happening for me, not to me. So the next time life knocks you down, don't waste time feeling sorry for yourself. Don't sit there asking, why me? Instead, ask, how can I use this? How can this make me stronger? Because every setback is fuel. Every failure is a step forward if you decide to make it one. The Stoics didn't just endure hardship, they used it. They took every struggle and turned it into power. And now, it's your turn. Whatever is standing in your way right now, good. That means you have a chance to grow. That means you have a chance to rise. Take it. Lesson 8. Practice gratitude, even in the worst times. It's easy to be grateful when life is going well, when you have money in the bank, people who love you, and a path that feels certain. But what about when everything falls apart? What about when you're struggling, lost, or in pain? That's when gratitude matters most. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The Stoics understood something that most people never grasp. Gratitude is not just about being thankful for the good. It's about finding meaning even in the difficult. It's about shifting your focus from what's missing to what remains. Maybe you're going through a hard time right now. Maybe life has taken something from you, but no matter how dark things feel, there is always something to hold on to. You woke up today. You have another chance. You have lessons from your struggles, wisdom from your pain, and strength you didn't know you had. That's something to be grateful for. Gratitude is not denial. It doesn't mean ignoring hardship or pretending everything is fine. It means choosing to see what's still there, even when life is taking things away. It means training your mind to focus on what's possible instead of what's lost. And here's the real power. When you practice gratitude, even in the worst times, you change your reality. You stop being a victim of your circumstances. You stop waiting for life to be perfect before you feel joy. Instead, you create joy where you are. You reclaim your power. So try this. Every day, no matter how hard things get, find one thing to be grateful for. Just one. Maybe it's the air in your lungs. Maybe it's the lessons you're learning. Maybe it's the fact that you're still standing even after everything. Because when you start seeing the good, even in the bad, you don't just survive, you rise. And that's what this life is about. Lesson 9. Be ruthless with your own mind. Your mind is either your greatest weapon or your worst enemy. It can build you up or tear you down. And the truth is, most people let their minds run wild, feeding on doubt, fear, and negativity. But if you want to take control of your life, you have to take control of your mind. You have to be ruthless with it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." That means if you let weakness live in your mind, you will live a weak life. If you allow self-pity, fear, and excuses to take root, they will spread like weeds, choking out your potential. So you have to be relentless. You have to be aggressive in guarding your thoughts, in rejecting the ones that serve no purpose, and in cultivating the ones that make you stronger. This is not about blind positivity. It's not about pretending that life is easy. It's about discipline. It's about recognizing the moment your mind tries to pull you down and stopping it cold. It's about developing the habit of replacing weakness with strength, fear with action, doubt with certainty, self-pity with self-discipline. How do you do it? First, become aware. Pay attention to the voice in your head. What is it telling you? Is it pushing you forward or holding you back? Is it filled with excuses or solutions? The second you hear weakness, confront it, shut it down, replace it with something stronger. If your mind tells you, "I can't," you immediately say, "I will." If it says, "I'm not good enough," You tell yourself, I am capable and I will prove it. The world is already hard enough. Don't let your own mind be another enemy. Train it, discipline it, make it work for you, not against you. Because once you do that, once you master your thoughts, you become unstoppable. So from this moment forward, refuse to be a prisoner of your own mind. Take control, be ruthless, and watch how your life transforms. Lesson 10. The power of self-discipline and taking action. Self-discipline isn't just a skill you develop, it's the foundation of everything meaningful in your life. It's the quiet force that pushes you to keep going when you're tired, to stay committed when it feels easier to quit. It's the difference between wishing for something and actually making it happen. When life feels overwhelming, when dreams seem too far out of reach, it's easy to feel like you're trapped in a cycle of inaction. We all experience moments of doubt, but the truth is, nothing changes until you take that first step. Self-discipline means showing up for yourself, even when the world tells you it's okay to wait for the perfect moment, because there is no perfect moment. There is only now. The toughest part about self-discipline isn't about forcing yourself to act when you feel like doing nothing. It's about the courage to trust that even small, consistent actions add up. It's in those quiet moments, when no one's watching, when no one's applauding, that you build the strength to reach the goals you've set for yourself. And it starts with one decision: to act. Self-discipline isn't about being rigid. It's about having the strength to align your actions with your values, your purpose, your vision for the future. It's about choosing long-term fulfillment over temporary pleasure, knowing that each sacrifice will lead you closer to the life you want to create. Every time you take action, you reinforce your ability to do it again and again, until it becomes who you are, not just what you do. In moments of temptation, in moments of weakness, remember that the key to freedom lies not in escaping the work, but in embracing it. We all have dreams, but what separates those who realize them from those who don't is the ability to take one small step after another. Self-discipline is less about willpower and more about consistency. It's about making a promise to yourself every single day, regardless of how you feel, that you'll take one more action toward your goal. There will be setbacks. There will be days when the weight of it all feels unbearable, but it's on those days when your resolve is tested. If you can keep going when everything inside you tells you to stop, that's when you'll truly see the power of your self-discipline. The more you push through the discomfort, the more you'll learn about your true potential. You'll realize that what once felt impossible is now within your reach. Taking action is the catalyst for growth. It's easy to get lost in the world of planning, thinking and analyzing, but nothing changes without action. The future isn't built in the confines of your thoughts. It's created with your hands, your effort, and your willingness to move forward even when it feels like progress is slow. So, take action. Don't wait for motivation to strike. Don't wait for things to feel perfect. The power of self-discipline lies in your ability to do the work, day in and day out, with unwavering commitment to the vision of the person you're becoming. The most significant progress you'll ever make will always be found in those moments where you choose discipline over distraction. Your future self will thank you for the decisions you make today, the actions you take now, and the self-discipline you commit to. Embrace it. Own it. Because the person who has mastered their own actions has unlocked the door to the life they've always wanted. Your mind is the battlefield, and every day you choose whether to let negativity win or to take back control. So choose wisely, because your thoughts shape your life, and the life you want, it starts in your mind.